Have you ever overfilled a cup? Whether first thing in the morning, you're still waking up and the coffee seems like you might just need a little extra, or you weren't fully paying attention. Or like me, the most common example is my water. I forget that when you put the lid on, it adds a little extra pressure and contents to the cup, and it always seems to overflow/explode on me. And I am kind of surprised, kind of kicking myself like, really? Again? You should have learned this lesson by now. This is a perfect example for what we're talking about today when it comes to overcommitment, because overcommitment is like a cup filled all the way to the brim. You are at capacity, and yet you keep trying to put more things in the cup when there's no room. So that has a lot of negative repercussions. So today we're talking about aligned or overcommitted, how to know when your yes is actually hurting your progress. So let's dive in. Do you ever wish you had more time just to breathe, think, or even catch up? Does your to-do list feel like it's never ending, no matter how hard you try? Have you ever looked around and thought, why does everyone else seem to have it all together and I'm barely holding on? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to A Fresh Start. I'm Shannon Marquita, your habit and mindset coach, here to help you build healthier habits, feel more like yourself again, and stop burning out in the name of productivity. Trust me, I've lived the pressure of trying to prove myself, earn my worth, and juggle all the things. I know what it's like to look successful on paper, but still feel completely drained inside. That's why this podcast isn't just about information, it's about transformation. So stop scrolling, stop comparing, and stop trying to buy your way to balance. This is your space to slow down, reset, and focus on the one thing that will truly give you change. You. So let's get into today's episode. I want to start this episode by asking you, do you currently feel aligned or overcommitted? There's not a wrong answer because awareness allows us to move forward with intentionality. So are you aligned right now or overcommitted? Because what I want us to talk about is the difference between building momentum and just staying busy. You might look at your calendar and see how full it is and think, wow, I'm so busy and I'm important. But how full is your cup? Are you running on empty? If so, this episode is definitely for you because I want you to feel so alive, rejuvenated, and energized that you just can't help but show up in every area of your life with purpose and healthy focus. So let's start by defining the two. What does it mean to be aligned? It means that you feel completely energized. You feel in line with your purpose and your priorities and just ready to serve with a very full, in a healthy way, cup. Now, if you feel overcommitted, that is more a feeling of just being drained. You often feel scattered, you have blocks in your progress, and honestly, you probably feel tired a lot. This sometimes can easily be confused with productivity because you think that you are working through your to-do list and doing lots of good things. But if you pay attention, you're probably waking up tired. You're starting your day exhausted and you haven't even really begun doing anything. That's often because things are bouncing around in our heads constantly because we are what? Overcommitted. We're trying to multitask, and yet we feel like we're never really making true forward progress. We even start to experience some resentment, not because what we're doing is bad, but because we think, why do I have to do everything? And we start to look at others and judge their choices and their actions, forgetting that most of what is on our plate, we said yes to. We also aren't truly making progress in our goals because our energy and time are being given away to things that really aren't priorities or important to us. So why do we even say yes in the first place? If you've been around the podcast for a little bit, you know that something we talk about often is people pleasing because it's a very real thing. We have good intentions. We want to bring others joy and to be able to lighten their load and to be helpful. But remember, every time you say yes to something, you have to say no to something else. So if your plate is already full, if your cup is already filled to the brim, if you're tired and exhausted and you are multitasking often and you're not seeing progress and you're starting to experience resentment and you just are at your limit, why are we saying yes? Well, a lot of reasons also have to do with guilt. We are feeling like we owe somebody this for some reason. Could also be FOMO, we're having a fear of missing out. If I don't say yes and I'm not helpful, I won't be included, or I'll be forgotten, or I'll be letting them down, and then I will be excluded from the work group or the friend group or whatever it is. Could also be the pressure. If I don't say yes, then I'll be overlooked at the office, or I won't be allowed to be in a certain circle of influence. But the reality is, you have to remember you are enough just as you are. You bring value. Even if you say no to a need that someone else has, it is not your job, nor can you meet every need or do everything. Just because you can say yes doesn't mean that you should. Another reason that we often say yes is that it's rooted in fear of disappointing others. If we are recovering people pleasers, we need people's approval. We actually seek it. We will take on tasks even if not asked, because we hope people notice and that they affirm who we are and that we are enough. But I need you to hear me. You are enough. You don't need other people's praise or approval. Is it nice when people compliment you? Sure. But you need to be so rooted and grounded in who you are that you don't need that from others. It is a perk. It's icing on the cake, but it is not necessary. You don't have to be worried about being forgotten or left behind or being seen as valuable, because you know the value that you bring to the table and you know all you are capable of, and you are so focused and rooted in your goals and priorities and having healthy boundaries that you know it's okay and it is healthy to say no. You are still loved, you are still lovable, you are still liked, you are still enough, and you are worthy, even in, and honestly, especially in your no's, because people see those boundaries being practiced. And even if it takes an adjustment period for them, they are noticing, learning to respect, and honestly, probably starting to implement and practice in their own lives healthy boundaries, because they see that it's okay and it's possible, because you are a role model and you are having a ripple effect in others' lives. So you have to remember that you are an influence. And so what are you influencing others on? Being overcommitted or showing what's possible with healthy alignment in your life? So if everything seems good and we're trying to decipher, am I overcommitted or is this alignment that I'm experiencing? Ask yourself, these responsibilities that I have, do they feel chosen or forced? Do I feel obligated, or do I get to do these things because they further my purpose and what I want to be doing with my life? My priorities, do they feel anchored in my purpose? Do I feel driven and rejuvenated and fueled when I think about all that I get to do? Do I feel like I have space to be able to breathe, to reflect, to redirect if necessary, or do I feel forced in a certain lane with my actions and what I am doing? Those are huge indicators of whether you are feeling overcommitted or aligned, because the more that you feel like you have choice and that you are serving your purpose and in alignment with your values, you are going to soar and just flourish in your tasks and your productivity. Overcommitment causes us to feel a sense of negativity, and that is where resentment starts to be born, where our quality of work begins to decline, where we feel burnout more often. It starts to affect our health because we're feeling very anxious and stressed. We are struggling with feelings of inadequacy. Our personal life is also struggling due to neglect and lack of energy. So we may not be showing up at all for our loved ones or events, friends, hobbies, or we are showing up, but we're not really present. They're getting half of us, if even that. We aren't properly taking care of ourselves, whether nutritionally, we might just be grabbing for the easy choices, or we might not be taking care of ourselves physically, whether with activities and movement, which helps to fuel our positive endorphins and our confidence, as well as just overall self-care with quality of presentation, etc., for hygiene. So all of these are choices due to how we are feeling about ourselves and the direction of our lives. So obviously, I want to assume that all of us are feeling in alignment. but these are seasons. Sometimes we're overcommitted by accident with good intentions. Sometimes we are completely aligned, and that is absolutely wonderful. No matter which you are in right now, I want to encourage you with how to gently start to shift in the right direction, and how you can encourage others if you notice that they are in a season that is not healthy for them, that you can offer them these words of encouragement and some tips. Number one is to take time to review your current commitments. Are they rooted in love or fear? Are they forced? Do you feel an obligation due to your confidence and your current state? Or are you choosing them because they align with your purpose and your goals and they energize you? Practice saying no to good things, because just because they're good doesn't mean that they're meant for you. Not all good things are your things. You don't always have to say yes just because you can. You need to ask yourself, does this align with my goals and my priorities? If I say yes to this, what is it requiring me to say no to? If I say no to this, what does it allow me to do? Because those are going to help with your direction and to keep you with your priorities and healthy boundaries in alignment. And then also use the IDT method to help reset your week. Remember, IDT is intention, direction, and tracking. Set your intention. What are you working towards and why? Give yourself direction. Break it down. How are you going to help focus this goal? And then track it every single day, maybe multiple times a day. Could be with every decision you make, every yes you say or no. You have to ask yourself, what is the best way to keep myself in alignment? Because it is so easy to say yes and become overcommitted, but that does not align with our goals in our health and our purpose and our productivity. You are enough exactly how you are. Yes, setting boundaries can be difficult because it's new, but we are forming the habit of, in a healthy way, saying no, because this is your life and you have to stay in alignment with your goals and priorities. You don't need to feel like you have to overcompensate due to feeling inadequate, because you are enough. The more that we can realize what needs to get done and keep our priorities straight, we overcome the risk of treating everything as if it's urgent and important, because everything does not have equal weight. There are things that need to get done now, and there are things that are both optional and serve as distractions. So you have to keep a clear focus of what actually is urgent and important, and then systemize it. What can you get done, and what can you pair with other tasks that are already part of your routine? Because that helps to get them done more efficiently and to ensure that they don't get skipped. Because sometimes it's easy when we're tired or just feeling unsure to do things that we know are important, which is why healthy habits is key. Because the more that they are a habit, the more likely you are ensuring that they will get done. And then also learning to trust people. A lot of times we say yes or we take on too much because we struggle with perfectionism. We worry others won't do a great job. And maybe they won't do as good a job as you, but will it get done? Will they still do a good job? Will they do the best that they can? Is it an opportunity to coach them? Every opportunity is not a coachable one, but learning to recognize opportunities where you can offload from your plate and to-do list to others and have people help you, that is such a blessing, and it enables them to grow as individuals and to feel empowered, and you're helping their confidence grow. So it is a win-win, because when we say yes to things and we realize that it's costing us our peace, we have to acknowledge that it isn't worth the price. Protecting your peace is productive. You are honoring your limits, and that is helping you to stay aligned. You don't owe everyone access to you and your energy just because you're capable. Remember, just because you can say yes doesn't mean that you should. One of the best things that you can do in order to grow in your productivity and working towards your goals is honoring your energy. The more that you feel energized and fueled, the more productive you will be and the higher caliber of work that you will produce. So remember, if you are feeling overcommitted and burned out, you can start to shift, because the goal is to feel in alignment with the work that you're doing, the work that you are creating, and how you are showing up and serving others. I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you soon. I'm so glad you're here today. This conversation matters, and I know it's going to make a difference in how you move forward. If you'll do me a favor and take a minute to share this episode with a friend and leave a review, your words help others find their way too. For more resources, next steps, and to work together, you can head to my website, shannonmarquita.com. That's MARQUETA. Everything you need is waiting for you there. And if you're looking for honest conversation and extra encouragement with people doing the same kind of work, come join my free Facebook community. The link is in the show notes. Until next time, trust your pace, protect your peace, and remember, you are not behind. Take what you need from these episodes and know that a fresh start is always possible for you. I'm so proud of you. I'm thankful for you, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.